Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 apps that I use on a daily basis. And actually the first one is not an app, it's a bonus. This is a tool that I use almost every day, actually every night. And the reason why I say every night is because this is something I keep on the bedside and I often wake up at 3:30 a.m. and I have some random ideas, or 3 a.m. sometimes when I have some amazing ideas for clients, sometimes not so good ideas. I'll just keep writing them because I don't want to see the screen at that point of time. And the next morning, I'm just going to move it to my task system, which is Todoist. Todoist is the app that I use for managing my tasks and habits. So these are my daily habits. And basically, if I've done the habits, I would just go inside TickTick and I would just check them done. So today I went on a morning walk. I did my workout. I did my writing. I was not so well in the past week, and hence I couldn't check these, but I actually did them. I didn't do a lot of workouts this week, so this was not the best week for workouts, but the morning walk I actually did every day. If I missed something, I can always go back to that day and then just mark it done. Deep work, I am very consistent. Saturday is the last day that I do deep work, and then Monday again. Sunday is the only day I don't do deep work. Then I have the first meal, which is proteins and veggies, which is done. Content creation is something I'm doing right now. And then the others are going to happen in the evening, which is the second half of the day. So this is great to just check off the habits and make sure that I have consistency. So I can see, like, for example, deep work I've been doing for 294 days, which is great. Like, that's not a streak, but it's still a lot of check-ins that I've done for the habit. And also the tasks. So for example, I can see what tasks I have today. It's a Saturday, so I don't have a lot of work-related tasks. Even within the task management system, I have my lists. So I have Maplinks, which is my agency. I have my clients, and I have my health, money, those kinds of lists by which I can organize the tasks. So for example, if I have to say edit YouTube video, I'll just add that as a task and I'll categorize it on YouTube. So I can go to those particular lists. If I just want to see the list for Maplinks, for example, I can see it here. If I just want to see YouTube, I can see the task that I just added on YouTube. So all of my tasks, all of my habits are both on TickTick. Moving on, the next one is Google Calendar. My entire schedule is on Google Calendar. So what I do is I mark my daily routine first. Like, that's the first step I would suggest. If someone wants to, schedule their day and their habits, this is a good way to do it without actually being limited by it. I still want the flexibility, so I just make it as a separate calendar. I don't add it to my main calendar. So you can just add a separate calendar and remove it at any point of time. So if you remove this, you don't see anything else. If you add birthdays and the other calendars, you will see those calendars as well. So just selecting the schedule calendar, how I've scheduled it, is based on my ideal day, which is an exercise that you should do before you start working on all of this. So imagine your ideal day. How would it look like? For me, it's 7 a.m. I want to be outside. I want to be in the sun. From 8, I want to be in the gym, or I want to be doing cardio outside. From 9:30, I want to be doing deep work until 12. Then I want to have a meal and a break. This is my first meal of the day at 12 o'clock. So I've been intermittent fasting up till this point. Then I have my meetings. All my meetings are after, in the second half, not in the morning hours. That's another important one. And then I have, again, the second outdoor time. Between the first outdoor time and the second outdoor time, it's combining these two together. I walk around 5,000 steps. And then after dinner and after the meal, I just walk around the house. If I walk around my apartment, it's like 100 steps all around, like every room, and then come back to one point. So I would just do that 10 times if I had to walk 1,000 steps. And that's how overall, by the end of the day, I have to finish like 9,000 steps or so. And the last 1,000 steps before sleeping, I would just repeat it again in the apartment. There's really no excuse to walking, so you could walk anywhere. That's the beautiful thing about walking. I don't mark that in my habits because it's 100% habit. I've been hitting 10,000 steps. I'm so proud of this. I'm so happy about it, more or less. Since the last 4 years, on an average, I've walked 10,000 steps a day. So that's one thing I love. It helps me think, helps me connect ideas, different ideas in my head. So this is my Google Calendar system. And that's basically to know my schedule and then to do all of my meetings around it. I also use a tool called cal.com. This is a bonus for my clients to schedule meetings with me. Many of you may not need it, so it's not on the top 5. But the cal.com slots are only open in these 2 hours and a little bit sometimes, outside if there's a huge campaign going on. So that's the second one. The third one is Notion, and I've made a separate video on this on my channel. What I do is I basically have my home. It's a really simple page. It has my core, which is my diary where I would write my notes. Then it has my routine. So my routine is also documented here because on the calendar, I just book the slots, but on the routine, I actually mark why and what I'm doing everything for. You can open every page and then see the details of each thing in the routine. Then the pillars of my life, what are the most important things in my life? There are 3 main pillars. So there's health, there's wealth, and there's family. And within those 3, I have 3 subcategories. So for example, with health, it's going to be nutrition, recovery, and training. Recovery, some people call it sleep. Nutrition, some people call it diet. Training, some people call it exercise. I like to use more holistic words because it wires the brain in a different way. Strategy, I track my work sessions here. What are the things I'm working on? I use this Pomodoro timer. I would just set up a time for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever I want to spend on that particular work session. Every work session is also allocated to some project. So if you look at the next thing, we have the projects. So these are the projects I'm currently working on. And then the goals. So the reasons why I work on projects is because I want to hit those goals. So for example, I'm going to hit 1 million net worth this month. And that's the total net worth, including all of my businesses and so forth. But it has to come from my projects, right? So when I work on my projects, I'm able to go closer to those goals. Of course, the main goal is to provide value to other businesses for me because I run a services agency. But when I do that, I make money, right? And that makes sense. That's how money works. Tactical, right? So the daily stuff, this is like my tracker on a daily basis. I'm tracking my sleep, my intermittent fasting, my weight. It's too much personal information there, but you can have a look at if you're interested. You can have a look at it. Hobbies. What are the hobbies that I'm pursuing right now? So languages I'm learning. I'm learning different methods of brewing tea and coffee, some outdoor activities, kayaking and stuff. All of that is there. And all of these tools that I use, I also just maintain a simple table to track that. My reminders of life and my routine. Again, like routine is the most important thing, as you can see in my life. In every tool, I have some sort of reiteration of the routine because I just believe that if you can live your life by like some sorted routine, you are happy, you are joyful, and everything just gets into a stage of flow, right? So everything is just flowing naturally. It's just like how the water flows by the rivers. It follows a path, but at the same time, it's very flexible. So that's why it's not something that I've scheduled like by the minute. So for instance, if you see, I just said deep work. Now it's 2.5 hours. I can choose what I want to do in that 2.5, 3 hours. The meal plus break is like a 3 hour slot. So it's a very broad method of scheduling. I know entrepreneurs and business owners who do it by the minute. I don't like that. I cannot live like that because I stand for freedom more than hustle. So for me, the freedom is really more important. But at the same time, my routine encourages things like sunsets and walks and family time and so forth, right? So it's a very balanced routine. Right? So those are the top 3. The fourth one and the fifth one are more for the company. For managing all of the projects that we have in the company, we use ClickUp. So on ClickUp, we had different channels. So we have the sales, CRM, how are, what kind of clients are we reaching out to, the clients we've closed, the clients we'll book the call with. Then we have the delivery. So once we get the projects, how do we deliver those? All of those tasks are there. So all the tasks are managed inside the ClickUp. I actually even manage my YouTube stuff here. So what are the videos? I have so many ideas for videos. So help me if you guys want to vote on any of these ideas, but these are all the ideas I want to make. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff actually, but I'm still thinking which, and sometimes I won't even take these ideas. I would just like this video is not in my idea list. I just thought about it and I started making it. But overall, I'll just write what are the points that I want to cover. And then that's it. I don't write a script as such. And then once the video is done, then it can go into the drafts to record once the overall draft is ready. And that's it. That's the draft. And then I will just make the video. I'll just talk. I don't really need a script as such. And then it goes into editing, and then it goes into publish, right? So those are different stages. You can see it in a Kanban system, which is something I really like. So these are all the published videos which are already there on YouTube. So this system really helps us manage work. But what about talking to the team? I don't use WhatsApp, so I use Slack. So with the team conversations, we always do it on Slack. Like I got a good idea for a BFCM campaign, so I just put it on Slack, ask my team to document it somewhere. This is really useful for us. So those were the 5 tools: TickTick, Google Calendar, Notion, ClickUp, and Slack. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.